Lifestyle Club there. Spread your love on XFM 104.9. I'm loving this, Steve. It's a lovely day.
Yep. We're playing some great music.
We're playing some great tunes, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're having some great chat.
Yeah.
So, let's carry on. Let's continue.
Well, absolutely. Well, obviously, Carl was out with me last night, and he saw that I'm, he knows I'm a ladies' man, and that was obvious, Carl. You could see the vibe around me, couldn't you, when the chicks were talking to me. And, just remembered recently, actually, I was on a train coming back from, hometown Bristol. And I was on the train, and, this girl walks on, good-looking girl. I thought, hey, a largely empty carriage. I'm thinking, my luck's in. Because I take every opportunity, Carl. That's the thing about me. I don't choose. She was a good-looking girl. She sat down. I thought, she sat down right near me. I thought, brilliant. As, this guy comes up behind her, and I think, it's probably a boyfriend or something, sits down next to her. And I listened in on the conversation, obviously, because I'm pretending to read. It was very clever. I read the same page for hours, so I was pretending to listen. I was listening, but pretending to read. And, I realised that it's not her boyfriend or anything. It's just some guy she's met on the platform. And I'm thinking, brilliant, if she's the kind of girl who's just going to start talking to someone, on a platform, on a train, brilliant, I'm going to be in here. Because he was only going one stop. So I'm thinking, what's the worst that can happen? He'll nick off, I'll get chatting to her, and who knows, I could join the... is there a train equivalent?
Foot High Club.
The Foot High Club, brilliant. And, so I'm excited, I'm listening in. And, they're talking, it turns out that they're both kind of, graduates, they've just finished university, or they're coming to their finals or something. And they're chatting away, and he's making a couple of witticisms, and she's kind of tittering at his jokes. I'm thinking, well, I'll tell you this, if she's laughing at this kind of material, I am gonna blow her away, with my kind of anecdotes and wry observations, It was weak stuff, I gotta be honest.
Really?
He was coming out with nothing. He was running on empty, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And she was loving it. So I'm thinking, brilliant, I'm gonna be right in here. And then they get moving on to higher brow things, and, I think she was going to study kind of, Marxism or something like that, or communism, something. And, she was asking him, by way of conversation, she was asking him what he knew about Marxism, And he was fumbling for his vague knowledge of it that he had in his life. And I'm just sat there thinking, come on, love, in any given capitalist environment, the proletariat will revolt against their oppression by the bourgeoisie, and after a brief period of socialist rule, emerges a classist society governed by community cooperation.
Well, if that sort of talk wouldn't get a woman hot, I don't know what you'd use then.
If Marx and Engels is not going to get a woman sweaty down below, then nothing is.
No.
My name is
You're
not
just
Steve
biding your time.
Exactly. I'm just going to go in for the kill any minute.
Yeah.
So anyway, it comes to his stop, right? He gets up. I'm thinking, this is a piece of cake. And he gets off, and off he goes. He walks off. And I'm thinking, brilliant. And I thought, I'll wait till the train's pulled away. I'm not going to leap in straight away.
No.
And he comes back along the carriage. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. He goes, listen, do you mind if I give you my email address?
Oh.
Right? And if you want to get in touch, email me. I'm thinking, come on, you loser. Get off now. Save your face. Please, before it's too much. And she accepts the email address because she obviously doesn't want to hurt his feelings, whatever. I'm thinking, fair enough, she's a good woman, I'm liking her. I'm loving her, I'm thinking, that's my kind of girl. So anyway, he gets off. I'm sat there, the train pulls away, I'm thinking, I'll wait a few minutes, I'll just, give it some time. Her phone rings, it's her friend on the phone. And, she starts to, and I was listening in, and she was going, just met a guy on the train. I'm thinking, that's true enough. She goes, he was a good-looking guy. I thought, you're having a laugh, love. To be honest. Because I was looking at him, and she said to her friend, he looks a bit like tennis player Boris Becker. I thought, you should be so lucky, frankly, because I saw him, he had awful facial hair, if that's what makes him look like Boris Becker. Terrible little goatee beard, it was laughable. I thought, I don't know, and then she goes to think, and she's like, I met him, we got chatting and stuff, and she was going, it's not often that you meet someone, generally in life, who's, kind of thoughtful and intelligent and funny. I thought to myself, I'm not even gonna waste my time with you, love. Frankly, if that's what you thought of him.
You just walked away.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even bother talking to her.
No, I
didn't even waste my time with her.
If she thinks that bloke is not only great looking, but funny and intelligent, and she got on well, and he was polite, and it was a chance meeting, and he thought, and she thought that you were like a freaky looking dork who didn't even have the nerve to speak.
That is what she thinks, then I don't want to know it.
I couldn't, you walked away, and good luck to you.
And I have my dignity intact.
Yes, and she's nothing. Travis, Flowers in the Window on XFM 104.9. Well, coming to that time when we do White Van Man.
Absolutely, with producer Carl.
And Carl's also going to be telling us his slant on fables, on Aesop.
Absolutely.
I was out with Carl. I know I shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, I broke the rule as well.
I know. Well, I was out with him the night before, I think, and we were just chatting. And as you know, we're going to Edinburgh for a week.
Yeah, that's all three of us.
That's all three of us, yeah.
It wasn't, I just wondered for a minute if there was some arrangement you two had made. Like next weekend, just popping out there seeing the sights.
Yeah. No, we're going to do a week's broadcasting from the Edinburgh Festival. And, and Carl's going, I bet you lie in, don't you, and all this. And I was going, well, yeah, he's going, well, he wants to be up at 9:30 and out looking at the sights, you know what I mean? Yeah, but anyway, and I said, have you ever had haggis? And he went, it's black pudding in it. I went, no, it's mince. He went, I like mince. I went, yeah, but wait, it's mince in a sheep's stomach, right? And he went, what, they force feed a sheep, then kill it? Imagine that, Carl.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't make sense. They force feed a sheep mince, and then kill it till its stomach's nice and full, and they go, oh, this one's full, kill it, before it starts digesting it. Of course they don't. It's a membrane and the other one, he was talking about, like, he likes Richmond Park. He goes, I like to see all the deers. I went, it's deers, plural, you don't need to say deers. I try and educate whenever I can.
What's that one?
I said,
the deer is already plural.
Yeah, deer is plural. I said, you know, like sheep or fish, so you can say fishes. And we were laughing at us. I said, do you know the, plural of, mongoose? Because a lot of people would think it would be mongoose. It's not, it's mongooses. Do you know what Carl said?
Plural of mongoose.
Mongoose, yes.
Plural of mongoose?
It's worth a competition. No, it's not, no.
No, go on.
Carl, what did you think the plural of mongoose was?
Mongs.
Play a record after this white van, man.
Do you want to play,
Oh, let's play a bit of Dylan, yeah. This is a beautiful track. It's, Just Like a Woman. Well, I think that's a beautiful record. It's by Bob Dylan, and it's Just Like a Woman. And Carl went, he's got his headphones on, so he's speaking a bit loud.
The harmonica's playing.
In a whiny mank accent, when the harmonica's going, that's an annoying sound, that, innit? God.
Oh, bless
Bob Dylan there. An annoying sound there.
did you hear about...
the annoying sound of Bob Dylan, that could be a new album.
Yeah, yeah.
Just that sort of sound always reminds me of, a one-man band.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story about Leo Sayer with his song One Man Band?
No?
Years ago. What year was, oh, God.
I'm in the mood for dancing?
What's the song that he did about a one-man
I'm
band?
a one-man band, it was called.
Right, yeah.
Funnily enough. Go
Yeah,
on.
he did that, one-man band, and he was playing it at the Dominion Theatre.
Yeah.
And apparently, whenever he played, he sort of sang this song, he got the audience involved. And the line in it was, I'm a one-man band.
Nobody knows or understands. Is there anybody there can lend me a hand
Right.
to my one-man
He
band?
said that, and what he used to do, he used to reach out
Oh, yeah.
and grab people's hands, and then he'd walk down the middle. Anyway, he said, well, anyone lend me a hand? And he stuck his hand out, grabbed like a hand, and was walking down, everyone looked horrified, and some woman who had like a plastic hand, it had come off. And he was walking down the middle of like Dominion Theatre with his plastic hand in his hand. And he said, oh, that's a moment I won't forget.
He knows how to tell a story, Leo Sayer.
Right, well, it's time for White Van Man, which is where we ask Carl the questions that the Sun asked someone else.
Exactly.
It's an article in there where they ask them, you know, typical man on the street, the big questions of the day, gives them their platform to the nation, and we think this is just too good to let out, because we only care about one person's opinion in the country now.
That's true enough, Mr. K-Man, and there he is.
There he is, right.
Carl, your thoughts, please, on Kylie Minogue slagging off Britney Spears for ignoring her fans at her premiere. Are you aware of that story?
No.
She got booed at her premiere of her new film, Britney, because she'd left her fans waiting for like an hour. Some of them had travelled up from Bristol, other parts of the country.
3,000 of them.
Loads of them screaming for her. She just went straight into the theatre an hour late, just gave them a quick wave and straight in. Didn't even
And they
bother
were
to shake their
crying
hands,
and
sign any
slagging her off.
autographs. So they were booing.
What do you think of that, Carl?
And Kylie's obviously said that was actually outrageous, you know, and you should treat your fans with respect. What do you make of it?
So she did wave. Like,
Yeah, but literally as she was walking into the theatre.
was it raining?
No, I don't think it was.
He's like a defence lawyer who hasn't really read the brief.
He's just winging it.
Judge, first joke, was it raining? No? Ah, shit, I was relying on that.
Was she running late for the start of the film?
Yes, but that's her own fault. I mean, the people are inside. They're not going to start the film without her. It's Britney Spears.
Yeah.
She could take some time out. You know, when Tom Cruise came here, he spent like an hour and a half shaking people's hands, talking to people on their mobile phones, all sorts. That's Tom Cruise. He's a bigger name than Britney.
I know, but...
He's a smaller person, but he's a bigger name.
What do people want from people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
An autograph, things like that, a photo.
This one's going nowhere, Steve. Is there another one?
Fair enough.
You know, it's not bad. If she had more time, she might have done it. I bet she would have done it on another day. I mean, I'm not feeling too good today.
But you're going to still take time out to sign people's autographs, surely, when you leave the building.
Yeah, there's always a bit of a crowd, isn't there?
Next.
Go on.
What do you make of New York's ex-police chief saying we need more bobbies on the beat? He's come over here. He's the guy that sorted out crime in New York City. He's come over. He said you're going all over the place here. You need more bobbies on the beat, more policemen, a visible police presence.
There was something last week about some copper in London who was sat on a bench, and he was asleep or something.
Yeah.
And people were like outraged because like he should be looking after England's people, not nodding off on a park bench. Which is a bit daft because
they were shouting he should be looking after England's people. Was this the 16th century you went back to? What do you mean he should be looking after England's people?
Wherever he was, if he was in like a park somewhere, they were like really annoyed because he was asleep. But
sure.
The way
He's probably undercover.
No, but the thing is, if there would have been any trouble, I'm sure he would have woke up.
Yeah.
If there was any if someone needed help and he screamed, he would have woke up. So I don't know why they were having a go at him.
Yeah. And he might not have been there at all. So it was
Yeah.
He probably have his radio turned on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Listening to Heart.
So you're not concerned then that there's not the crimes going up?
I think there's enough. I see quite a lot of them whizzing around.
Okay. You're happy then?
Yeah.
As long as you're happy, Carl.
So you don't think it's too much crime?
No.
Just the right amount of crime.
So what do you want now?
Well, what about song with the story?
See with right, well, last week...
Look at him, he's in a genuinely foul mood.
No, he's actually rocking.
Yeah.
He's actually rocking like Rain Man as well.
Last week we did, like you say, Eric Clapton. This is the section where we play a song with a story. I think every song, if it's a good song, it's got a story. You've got to listen to it, sort of, from the start. You get in the middle, you're going, oh, how's it going to end, and all that. Yeah. You wait another minute, you know the ending, you're happy.
But the thing is, as Steve said, sometimes we're disappointed with it, so it's not a good story. And as Steve said, I'm not sure you're finding what you need in a song for a story. Why don't you read a book, a novel? If you want a really good story that engrosses you, why don't you read a book? You're not going to get it from a pop
song.
song.
No time for a book. Song's 3.5 minutes.
And that's it, is it? And that satisfied you?
Well, yeah, it gets you thinking for a few minutes, then you move on.
Then you stop thinking.
2 minutes 50, this one, right? And it's brilliant.
Go on then.
It's about, last week we talked about the little crippled fella, right? This one...
as I say, I don't think we say cripple anymore, but go on.
Alright, this one, someone emailed in saying, if you want a song about that, this is a song you ought to listen to, right?
Right.
It's about this fella who, basically something happened, I think he's in a wheelchair, right, for some reason.
You thought that last time.
His wife, likes going out. She doesn't take him with her when she goes out.
Right.
Is it Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town?
Yeah.
Good, brilliant song.
We'll just play it then?
Yeah, great song.
Alright.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's a good story. It starts off well and that, you're feeling sorry for him, but then he says, where's my gun?
Yeah. Because she's a slut.
Why?
Because she's going off.
Yeah, but what does he expect her to do?
What? Just because he paralysed his legs fighting for his country, presumably in Vietnam War, says that crazy Asian war. So he's gone, he's fought for his country, he's taken a bullet, he's come home, he can't walk, he should be a hero, and then his wife's going out putting it about downtown.
Why do I never meet women like Ruby?
It's the start of a new strand in the show, a new quiz, a new competition to replace Rockbusters. Now that's quite a tall order, but what have you done?
Right, like I said, right, if you've only just tuned in, what it is, I've took, and I'll be taking, a well-known saying every week from the show, something that crops up a lot. First one that sprang to mind was...
There's a little gay fella standing next to me in the urinal?
That's next week.
Okay.
This week, there's this airy Chinese kid, right?
Yeah.
That's crops up quite a lot.
Sweeping the nation.
Right? So what I've done, I've got 5 songs,
yeah,
and I've edited them together to make that saying.
You've got words from songs where any part of that sentence occurs to recreate it.
Yeah.
Now, what do they need to do? Do they need to say what the song is? Just the 5 songs?
I mean, I was going to say song and artist, but if you want, just a song.
So there's 5 things there, and if someone doesn't get all 5, it's still worth emailing in, because we might give it to the one who's got the most, and then...
Yeah.
Can I suggest we go for artist rather than song? Only because sometimes it's quite tricky to get a song title. Sometimes it's it's very odd, or it's not quite what you think it is. So maybe artist is an easier one.
Are you happy with that, Carl? It's your competition.
Right?
I mean, Steve always does this whenever I come up with an idea.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure it's just the best it can be, Carl.
Yeah, no, he came up with a few game shows, and Steve was going, no, it's no good. And Carl said to me, he said, it's the one of The Office ever got on telly.
Yeah, but Well, we shall see how Cheapest Chimps plays out, but frankly, the fact that the fact that you said to me, Steve, I've come up with the best game show ever, it's called Cheapest Chimps, what's the idea? I don't know, I just like the name. It's something to do with chimps. I thought, well, I'm not sure that's the best game show ever. And what was the other one you came up with that you told me
I think
about?
a few people will be disagreeing with him, Carl. I think people will say that Cheapest Chimps could be the best game show ever.
You know, when I was at school, people like you, I really didn't like. You're a stirrer, Gervais. He flits, doesn't he, from one side to the next, Carl. The one thing, we may argue, mate, but at least we're consistent. Ricky Gervais flipping from one side to the other. One day he's on Carl's side.
When was the last time Steve wrestled you to the ground and got you in a leg clamp?
No, you're right.
Never.
What, is that supposed to be a good thing?
Well, did you see us?
Yeah, I saw you struggling in Carl's office earlier.
He was punching my legs to release me. We were on the floor, and I was squeezing him with my mighty legs, wasn't I, Carl?
What?
It was like, I imagine that's what a crab feels like when an octopus has got it. We were playing that, weren't we?
So anyway... So, I'll play you this clip now. It's 10 seconds long. We'll play it a couple of times, because you'll need to take it in. So here it is then. What are we saying? We're saying artists?
Let's go with artists.
Artists. So email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Name the 5 artists it has taken to make up the saying,
Give
there's
that
this
email
early
address
Chinese
again.
kid.
Give that email address again.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
There's this hairy Chinese kid.
Here we go. Play it again.
Play it again.
Here we go.
I think you better play it once more.
Oh, I've got them.
Have you got them all?
Yeah.
That's nice work.
Here we go.
I can just remind you now that the prizes include a Red Dwarf DVD, Marion and Jeff, the first series of that on VHS, a Live Forever Britpop CD, and also the very best of Led Zeppelin. Let's play one of those actually while we're here. Brilliant. Rock and roll. Who is he and what is he to you? We have not had any successful answers on your quiz, Carl. We've had people
That's
who've got
what you get
a
when
maximum
you put
of 4.
a duck in a microwave.
Yeah, yeah.
Bill Withers.
Nice.
Alright?
Cheers. So I'm not talking about Cheapest Chimps.
That's safe. That's going to run and run.
Yeah,
that is going to run and run.
That's really got legs.
I'm going to check the press Monday. I can only assume it's a triumph.
Exactly, another Pilkington triumph.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the prize, if you don't mind, Carl, to Karen and Jeff Gillian, because they're the only one that got. They were the only couple that got the second answer, which was very, very.
But
tricky.
they got 4 today.
But they only got 4
But
right.
4 is the top answer. So should we give the
So
answers
play it,
now?
Carl, and then tell us who each one is.
Right. So there you go.
I didn't know the second one.
There's
Play it
this
again.
early Chinese kid.
So the first one, the Lars.
There she goes.
That's George Harrison.
No.
That's Philip Bailey. And that's Deacon Blue.
Right. So it was the Lars,
Yeah. What's the second one?
Strokes,
That was very tricky.
That is hard.
George Harrison
Harrison,
for Airy.
yeah.
That's all I could get. It was Ari.
Ari Krishna, yeah.
But Chinese, Phil Bailey.
Chinese War is.
Yeah. And Deacon Blue, Real Gone Kid.
Real Gone Kid, yeah.
There's this airy Chinese kid.
Very,
Yeah.
very
I
hard.
love the fact that the normal bit of that, like, the normal bit is like the well-known phrase, there's this hairy Chinese
yeah,
kid.
exactly.
Like, nothing happened there. That's normal. There's this hairy Chinese kid. As a phrase that often... In fact, you're right. We must have said that phrase 20 times today. When was the last time that was said 20 times?
Never. I don't think it's ever been said anyway.
There's this hairy Chinese kid. I mean...
Even in China.
I don't think it's... Well, it's very rare.
Definitely not said in China. Well, I think that was the year, right? You're talking about buying presents and stuff. I think I did treat my mum to that. I didn't buy my dad anything. I think that was like when I got a bit older, I used to get my dad something because he wasn't that bothered anyway. No. So, got me mum, there was a cheap shop, right?
Of course.
Thank God for that.
Called Snips. Right? So I went in there and I thought, let's see what I can get her. And remember Victoria Plum?
I don't think so.
Well, it's like a fairy character.
Right.
Right? And my mum's into gnomes and stuff, right? So I thought, right.
She must be pleased with you then.
Victoria Plum. I was thinking, is that one of the neighbours? Is it like a brandy
Do you
liqueur?
remember Victoria Plum?
Victoria Plum.
Victoria Plum, yeah, it's like a little fictional sort of character, right?
Okay.
So I saw it, I thought, yeah, she'll love that, right? So I did my paper round, saved up for 2 weeks, right?
Aw.
Got that sorted, went to Snips, bought the Victoria Plum. Next day, I'm in town with her, right? So I think, I know what I'll do. I said, come in here a minute, right? So we go in, and we're looking around, and I tested her, right? I went, look at that there, that's alright, innit? And she goes, oh, it's bloody awful.
Oh, Carl. Oh, Carl. Oh, God.
So then, Christmas Day comes, I said, don't bother opening it. She said, no, why? I said,
Oh,
"Don't."
no! Why did you still give it to her?
So, well, it's too late, I'd already bought it.
Oh, Carl.
So she opened it, and I was like, and she said, oh, that's nice. I said, why are you saying that? I said, the other day, so it's bloody awful. She said, oh, no, I thought you were pointing at something else.
Oh, no.
So that's why I don't get anyone anything anymore.
Oh, God! Play record. Oh, God. Oh. That's good, isn't it?
Not bad.
Gold Rush. Let you down. I'm actually quite affected by Carl's Victoria Plum scenario. Just the fact that, like, that eagerness, he wants to make sure it's a great present. He's saved up his paper round. He thinks it's like a gnome, but modern.
I'm worried that you're using it as an excuse now, and that's why you're not buying anyone any gifts, because you've had your fingers burned once. I mean, you were 6, 7 years old. To be fair.
No, you weren't. You were about 13, weren't you, if you're doing your paper round?
Yeah, well, it must have been, yeah, 11 or 12 then.
Alright.
Yeah, so I'd saved up. Oh, no, I'm not using it as a thing, it's just
What
that,
do you get your mum this year?
I've sent them some money so they can, get a passport.
So I can get a passport.
What do you mean, where are they? Are they trapped
No, 'cause they've
somewhere? Well, they're in a holding bay somewhere in Dover.
Yeah, I got
What
a
do you
friend
mean?
who's a truck driver. He's going to sneak them across.
What do you mean?
So they can buy a passport. What do they do? Sell it when they're
No,
a bit down in their luck?
No, they haven't got that much money, right? They've never been abroad, and the mate said they might, take them next year, and they said, oh, we haven't got a passport, so I
You've got to
thought,
buy a passport, have you? Isn't that your God-given right as an Englishman?
no, you've got to pay for them, they're 30 quid each, so you better had to, otherwise they're conning me.
Right.
They said
So you
it's
sent them
30 quid.
You
60
don't
quid.
get born with a passport, of
You
course you
sent them
don't.
60 quid in an envelope, have you?
Well, check.
Right.
I love that. He'll be watching telly and France will come on and he'll go, oh, what do you think of that? She goes, it looks bloody awful. He
Yeah,
goes, oh, don't
oh,
open it.
no.
Don't open it.
Yeah.
Don't open it.
So you've not paid for a holiday for them. You've
No, I've
you've
just
given
sorted
them-
out the, well, it's the better prize, isn't it? Because they can't go anywhere without it.
Well, the passport keeps on giving.
Yeah,
It's a perfect
so-
10 years. That is, yeah.
So, but no, I never used to, I mean, I can't think of other things. I used to get me dad once I started getting him stuff, it sort of used to be a dressing gown, and then, but as an extra surprise, I used to put like a cigar in the pocket, so he'd think that was it.
Yeah.
Then he'd put it on and put his hand in the pocket.
Right, and then he
what's
just
this?
hit you because he thought you'd nicked it.
Oh dear.
So you bought him a jacket with a cigar? That's quite thoughtful.
Did you sneak a cigar once one Christmas?
Yeah, well, it was that's when they used to have like the big do's, like I say. You know, they were known for it. Like the whole estate used to know that. You know, we were having a party.
Yeah.
So,
So they'd all come round.
so they'd all come round and just have food and drink and that.
Pocket the,
I can't
ornaments.
imagine. I cannot imagine how unpleasant that must have been.
Awful.
And you locked in your bedroom with a broken train set.
Yeah, crying.
And looking at Victoria Plum, whatever that was.
In the bin.
Oh, in the bin, yeah. And hear a mum saying, and he got me this.
Got me this
Isn't this
piece
shit?
of rubbish.
You could hear him just throwing it against the wall and laughing.
all the neighbours laughing.
Yeah. And you'd come down just be in pieces with loads of spit on it. Just loads of gob on it.
Eyes.
And all the Polaroids of them just like laughing at it and
pointing.
stamping on it.
Alright.
It's brought all flooding back.
But no, I used to get up in the morning and then like they'd still sort of all be there asleep on the floor and on the sofa.
Oh,
that's awful.
Oh.
That's terrible. Christmas is surely the one day a year which is a family thing. It's for the kids. They're the ones
No, but
that
that was Boxing Day.
Well, I know.
Oh, that's all right. It's over.
Yeah.
Back on the bike.
Christmas is over.
All right. Who's going to pay for this? What, me? Yes, Carl. You're doing 2 rounds today.
Yeah, what's your paper round supporting the entire family?
Yeah.
No, so I used to get up and like go downstairs, and they'd be asleep, so I'd be mooching about trying to find like another present that's still working.
I love the idea that these people from the estate had like squashed his presents.
So I found a cigar that had been sort of lit up and then put out, so I thought, oh, I'll have a go at that. I went outside and had a go, and that's the last time I smoked.
Right.
So I tried it, I thought, I don't like that.
I love the fact that he does everything once.
Yeah.
In his life, it's a line of, I've done everything once, I don't need to do it again. Oh, dear.
You know, I said in the past to you, Rick, that my grandparents, so I love them dearly, but it's like, for the last 30 years, they've been waiting to die.
I know,
It's like they just sort of, it's like, you know, the novelty wore off of like...
Life in the 50s.
Yeah, they got kind of bored of it. Life, in the 40s, it was brilliant. All sat around the old Joannas, the box singing, they loved that. The 50s, you know, that was great as well, because that was the post-war years. It was, you know, it was a bit tight in the pocket, but it was alright, everyone pulled together. And then the 60s came along, all the crazy music, the funny hair.
Let's stay in bed.
Exactly, they basically stayed in bed. And it was one Christmas when my grandmother said to my dad, what do you like for Christmas? What do you fancy for Christmas? And this must have been, I don't know, 20 years ago. She said, what do you fancy for Christmas, Ron? And he went, well, you know, I could do with a nice big kind of warm winter overcoat. She said, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, because your father will be dead soon. It's right, you can have his. Meaning my granddad. Well, to be honest with you, my father's still waiting. Which is good news. Good news for my grandfather. Less good news for my dad.
Freezing.
He's freezing.
He's freezing. He finds out, how is he today? He's fine. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm freezing.
It's such a weird mindset, that. I think that, to me, is what sums up people from that older generation, the 40s and 50s. And it seems to me that you've got that kind of mindset. It's like you were born in the 30s. And whenever you talk of your childhood, it's like you had, like, a baked potato to take to school. And a hoop and a stick as a Christmas
The other
gift.
thing is, I think that that sort of generation, it seems that the man is dependent on the woman. There's a total dependence.
Oh, absolutely,
If she dies, he's done.
Yes.
He's done for. Just pine away. If he dies, she's got 30 years of pottering.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and going to, like, you know, the youth club and the
Yeah, I
church.
know what you mean, yeah.
It's sort of like that. It's sad. Of course, it's sad for them, but it's sort of not the end of their life.
No, sure.
And it sort of is the other way around. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's a little melancholy thought for.
I know. I've really you brought it down. You've brought it down. I've brought it. This isn't a nice show at all. This is terrible.
Well,
We're gonna have people just killing themselves. What?
Well, I didn't really want to make it a Christmassy type show, because I don't really like it.
Oh, he's done it again. What, you did Christmas once, didn't like it?
No, it's just...
Play a
I'm
record.
not religious or anything.
What are you? You're not anything.
Teenage Fan Club from the XFM Christmas album, and that's Christmas Eve.
Their guitar sounds are just brilliant. They're just always so nice. Alright, Carl, would you like that? Would you like Teenage Fan Club?
Yeah, they're good.
Carl, I feel like you've never kind of enjoyed the wonder of Christmas. I can't ever get the sense, maybe except when you were very, very young, you know, that kind of bright-eyed, you know, thinking of Santa, you know, kind of landing on the roof and coming down the chimney and drinking the sherry or whatever.
So I like the idea of it, right?
Sure.
The sort of, you know, I used to get a couple of annuals every year, you know.
Yeah, so did I, yeah.
And I was allowed to open one on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Just, yeah, so...
So they could throw it on the fire.
I think
It is sort of like...
a quick skim through, do the words.
Yeah. I think that's a light of a cigar off the cooker. Oh.
Well, anyway, listen, a good friend of ours, Ross Noble, the comedian, brilliant, he gave me this picture, Carl, which he's got from a magazine.
He loves you.
And I have to say, I think this... I just looked at it then. Obviously, it's not going to mean much to the listener.
Oh, this is
but it is
self-indulgent.
currently available. I think it's in the current edition of Bizarre magazine, so you might want to buy that.
It's not horrible, though, is it?
There's a certain grotesqueness about it.
Oh, it's a deformed person, isn't it?
Well, to a degree, but I think what it's going to do for Carl is give him, I think for you and I, Rick, we're going to see his face.
Light up.
Lighten up, like opening a wonderful Christmas gift.
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen this. Is this the one with the kid with the big head?
I'll be honest with you, Carl, it is. Have you seen it already?
Yeah.
Let me just show it to you again so you can kind of...
I haven't seen it.
It's like... yeah.
We shouldn't be laughing at that.
No, but that is like the kid who I went to school with. That is the same.
That can't be the
So
same.
do you recognise him?
Seriously, that is the same thing he had.
I mean, I have to say, it does look like it's been computer generated. It's so odd.
Yeah.
But look at the child's face.
I
Look
know.
at his reaction. Don't take another photo of me.
I'm not sure this is right.
It's not right, it's not right. But I was hoping that would give you, Carl, just a little glimpse of,
We've had a request as well on the best bits. So someone wants to hear you talking about your mates with the big heads.
I can't believe it, because every time we go there, we get some sort of complaint about something.
About what?
Just leave it. Well, that for some reason that always goes from the story with my dad going to Blackpool for taking those kids there.
And what kids?
And leave it.
No, what? I don't know. There's people that know what you're talking
I'll
about.
tell you when we put a song on.
No, well I know what it is, but you can't just say that.
Well,
Is it when? Is it when your dad put a kid in the wheelie bin because he was getting out of hand?
Yeah. So we're going to
we can't go through it again. It's too controversial.
We're gonna. What's the name? No, well, the thing is, right, you were just saying about what are you? About Christmas. That's the funny thing, right? Because in our house, there's no one who's religious, right?
No.
My dad got annoyed when I went to church that day. He was like, what are you doing that for?
Of course.
I went to see a gig in Liverpool. Remember the band The Christians?
Yeah.
He thought I'd join some club.
Yeah.
I said I've been to see The Christians. He was saying to me, man, what's he doing going out with them?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the other thing is, because I'm not christened or anything, my mum used to say to me, don't tell anyone that, because there's witches and stuff.
I want to go back and see his upbringing. I just want to go back and see him at 7. One day in the life of Carl, age 7.
Just have 3 ghosts visiting tonight. And take him back to his time. But we could go with him.
We can be some of the ghosts.
Yeah,
I
the
just
ghosts of Christmas past.
Oh,
remember this?
That's incredible. Because don't tell it what.
Just say
So she wasn't Christian, but she thought maybe someone could take your soul because you weren't Christian.
There's like, there's cults and that, isn't there? And if they find out you're not christened, then...
Right. I don't think they care. I don't think a lot of cults care.
Well,
but what can they do if you're not Christian?
I don't know. I just said all right, because then through that time there must have been a time when.
But hold on, now they know.
Yeah, but I'm older now, so I'm all right. She used to worry about me playing out on the street.
Oh, she was worried about when you were naive and stupid and easily led.
Well,
yeah. No. Good point. No, you're right now. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Good.